Hey, thanks so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth today. Our mom called, so we talk about that, plus a little bit about the Super Bowl and a very strange encounter I had with a certain insect breed. This, plus our Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. Shop lipandclip.com. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
You're so cute, I could put you in my pocket.
Paula?
I feel like I'm going to pee my pants right now.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. It is episode 407. Ugh. Oh, God. Ugh. What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Okay, that was weird.
We're off today.
Yeah, so welcome to The Ugly Truth. So I had an outline set for us, and then our mother called me. So I thought I would give you a bit of an update. I know all of our listeners love to hear when we talk to our mother about things, but actually, if you recall, well, maybe you don't recall, a couple of weeks ago, she had texted me and said she wanted to come over. Mm-hmm. Well, you and I were recording a show, and she texted me in the morning and said, hey, I was wondering if I could come by and hang out. And normally I'd be like, yeah. But it felt very cryptic. And so, and it wasn't a lie. I did have a migraine. And
right.
I got through the show because I had taken some medicine. And then once we were done with the show and I was all done, it was like I was literally laying in bed going, I've got to get rid of this thing. So I said, hey, can we rain check on the visit? And, I'll obviously hang out with her. It's just, she'll get here at 10 and won't leave till 6. It's a marathon visits. And so I just did not have it in me. And then the last couple of weeks have been a bit crazy. And so she called me yesterday from the home phone.
Oh.
And I did not see the call or the voicemail. I had just done a big iPhone update, and for some reason I didn't get it. So she called me again on her cell phone today. And I went, oh. So I answered it, and she's like, I'm like, hello. And she's like, hello.
Oh.
And I went, oh. I go, hello. And I said, what's going on? And, I'm a little burned out on life, but
sure.
I still, so I'm like, okay.
But obviously if there's something wrong,
Right. And so is she hospitalized?
That's what I was saying. Is she in the hospital or what?
No, she's not in the hospital.
Yes.
But I'm going to try to give you the quickest dramatic reenactment without going for 20 minutes on what she told me.
Okay.
So I tried to get her to cut to the chase, and she simply wouldn't. And so
none of us can tell a story quickly.
Some of us need to say, listen, I've had this plotted out in my mind. If you make me skip ahead, I'm going to have to go back. So just let me say what I need to say. So I'm like, okay.
We have to give the weather conditions, the wind speed, what we were wearing, who was there, what everyone smelled like. It's just
right. So apparently she's not hospitalized, and she doesn't have cancer. So let's just get that out of the way.
So the important things.
Right. No one's dying. So apparently she woke up, I think this was on Tuesday. She woke up and she had some significant pain in her hip, like significant. And it was to the point where she goes, it was excruciating, like 100 out of 10. And so she called her doctor, and she said, I need to be seen. He said, okay. So they got her in. By the time she got into the doctor's office, the pain was so severe that she did not know what to do. She's like, I've never had pain like this in my life.
Why didn't she just go to the hospital?
Well, that's what I thought, but she felt it was muscular.
So she thought that this was something Dr. Fong could handle?
I don't know. I think it was just a preempt to if there was something that needed to go further, she's starting at ground zero, and then she'll, build up to whatever may come.
I think Mom just likes to be dramatic.
Well, wait till I tell you.
Okay.
So, and now let me tell you, I'm not making fun. It's just very Campos woman type behavior. Okay.
It's like driving Miss Daisy.
Worse. So
So I assume token Paul was there to
Paul, of course, is there. And let me tell you, she's blessed because apparently he's very, very strong.
Oh, God.
She gets into the exam room and the doctor said, look, you're going to have to get on the table so that I can examine your hip and your buttocks and the back of your thigh or whatever. You know, I need to get a good look at it and kind of feel and palpitate. And she said, I can't get on there. It's too painful. And he said, well, you got to try. Fine. So she gets up there. She goes, I tried to get up there and it was so excruciating that she screamed bloody murder and fell. And Paul and the doctor grabbed her before she hit the floor, but she could not get the strength to get herself onto the examination table.
Are we talking about mom or?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to clarify because it sounded like somebody else, but.
So I know. And so the doctor said, I'm going to get you a shot of Novocaine. You're going to have to endure the pain of the shot in your butt, but it's going to help you deal with the pain. And she said, okay, fine. I'll do anything. Now, I want to preface by saying, I don't doubt for a moment that our mom is in excruciating pain. And at this point, I said, Mom, did you break your hip? And she said, so he went to go get the shot. And I said, Mother, I'm like, just give me the real dirt. Like, did you or did you not? She's like, well, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay, because let's just cut to the chase. Are you getting hip surgery? Like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Just tell me. So he comes back and it's so excruciating that she says, I need to go to the hospital. And doctor goes, okay. And so he calls the paramedics. Mm-hmm. So the fire department, she goes, it took them 15 minutes, Jamie, to get to the doctor. She goes, it felt like a million years. And I said, well, that is a long time, but it wasn't like you were having. It
wasn't a medical emergency.
It's not like you had cardiac arrest or, bleeding. So it's not going to be, quick like a bunny. They're going to get there when they can get there.
And fortunately, because she went by paramedics, she probably got seen a lot faster.
Here's the thing, though. So the firemen come in, the paramedics, and they say, okay, you need to get up out of the chair. And because we can't get the gurney into the exam room. So you're going to have to get up and then we'll put you on the gurney. She's like, I can't do that. She's refusing to move because it hurts.
So, okay.
I've had my intestines spilling out of my gut. Mm-hmm. I found a way to get myself to the ER without the assistance of paramedics. Mm-hmm. No one likes to endure any kind of pain ever, especially when it's excruciating. Totally get it. But sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Like those people that cut off their limbs to free themselves from the wilderness. You do what you have to do to survive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In my mind, I'm listening to her talk about her refusal. Now, you think we're divas? You think we are impossible? You've seen nothing until you've seen our mother wanting to not do shit. Like, this is a woman who will absolutely refuse, and you will accommodate it. So the firemen pick her up. They pick up the chair, and they pick her up, and they carry her out to the front and place her on the gurney.
How does she not feel strange about this?
I think that the pain was just like, I'm not moving, so make it work. I was just like, now listen, she sounds like she's traumatized, and I'm not making light. I want everyone to know I'm not making light because it's pain, hip pain, sciatica. I've heard of people assemble teams to address this pain. I mean, it is not an easy thing to deal with. But then you add to the fact that somewhere along the line, we come from royalty and we come from a place of privilege. And so she's just not.
I'm not really sure what line that is because, well, we definitely know it's not the Mexican side. And so the only other.
That's the hardworking side.
And I'm pretty sure it's not the Maxwell Irish side because our grandmother was a waitress. And so.
Well, she was a lot of things, yes.
Well, yes. But that leaves the Swedish. And
the Swedes.
I don't know a lot about that.
I don't either. That could be it, though.
It's possible, but
our grandfather comes from a very wealthy family.
I know we come from a long line of narcissists, so
no, I don't want to. Don't use that label. That's not it. So anyway, so they got her onto the gurney, got her to the ER, and they triaged her. They gave her an X-ray, and she said, "Well," and that was just unbelievably unbearable. And then finally I started giving her drugs, which always helps, you know.
That's all she wanted.
But you want anything to not be in pain anymore. I mean, I remember when I went in, I was like, whatever you gave me, give me more. They're like, oh, that's morphine. I'm like, thank you. It was so great.
I usually just want answers. I mean, that's my whole thing. It's just like, why is this happening to my body?
They did the X-ray, no fractures, no breaks. But
so no explanation at this point.
No, but they want to do an MRI. And she's just like, okay. And so, of course, because, you know, insurance in this country is super duper easy to deal with, she needed like a referral on a referral. And
she has Medicare. I mean, what could possibly be difficult about that?
It's just not easy. And so she has to go back tomorrow morning at the crack of dawn to have an MRI done to see if there's some kind of muscular issue. But because she fell trying to get on the examination table, her entire side is swollen now. Like, she fell hard, and she swears she doesn't remember anything.
What?
I know. So there's a few concerning situations, but I mean, that was the purpose of the call. And she has dictated what kind of pain relief she wants. So that's been called in. I don't know how she gets these people to do her bidding, but she's like, no, I can't have that. I need to have this. And they're like, okay. And they just give her whatever. It's crazy. I'm like, I want that. I want to do that. How do you do that?
Well,
how do you just tell people and they just go, okay. They just give her.
Is it through the doctor's office or?
It was the ER and then the doctor. She's like, well, the ER gave me something and I started hallucinating and I'm not going to do that. So I want this. And he said, okay. And she got it. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But she's like, you know, the ER, they're very stingy with their pain relief. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, if you've watched the news in the last year, there's an opioid crisis, and they are passing legislation, and pharmaceutical companies are going bankrupt and paying out billions of dollars in lawsuits. But
I am willing to wager that she has some kind of fracture, to be honest. I don't know how she got it, but you know, people break their hip all the time and they don't know how it happens. It's very common. So we'll see. I'll let you know. So now she's home, and this is the part.
Oh, God.
I didn't say anything to her because
it's not over.
Well, she has a walker that she has from when our grandfather lived with her for some time. He needed a walker.
She kept it?
So she had it, and she busted it out, and now she's using it to meander through the house. And, you know, the whole point of the story is that it's just the fact that she has the ability to dictate everything and people do it. That is a power that is unmatched by most people. Like, that is really good shit to be able to do that. She's telling everybody, she's like, no, I won't be doing that. And they're like, okay. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad you think it's a power and diva-like and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would kindly disagree, but...
What would you call it?
Just something else, but...
What?
Throwing a temper tantrum and being extraordinarily difficult and...
Well, yeah, that's what being a diva can be, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean... I just think of diva differently, I guess, you know.
I guess so.
Like, you know, demanding coffee and you know, I don't know.
That's a very simple look on diva.
Having, you know, like I heard J-Lo requires, you know, certain candles and certain perfume sprayed in the room before she enters, and
that's Mariah.
Or white sheets hung on the wall, but they have to be like 1,500 thread count, and
Mariah Carey has
certain type of bottled water, and it's got to be room temperature, and those kinds of demands. But someone who's just simply refusing to comply.
Well,
I've worked with people like that before, and it's not diva-like. It's extraordinarily childlike and frustrating, and I don't want to say milking a situation, but it's just, you are not the only person on the planet that's ever had a pain.
That's where we split the road kind of forks, because I am not one to, I don't like relying on anybody. If I need to get from point A to point B, I will cut my hand off to get out of the national rock climbing place. Like, I will do what I have to do. Right. I'm not going to say, well, work with what you got, because I ain't moving. Well, I understand the pain. She didn't want to endure that pain anymore. But I mean, if you're in a burning building and your leg is broken, what are you going to just hope someone shows up? I mean, no, you're going to drag your broken ass out.
And you hope that they're going to pick up the chair and walk you out. I mean,
right.
My whole thing is like, I don't find it's anyone's responsibility to do anything for me.
Well, if you're incapacitated, but
it doesn't matter. It's just.
So we'll just leave you to die. You can't do it yourself.
Honestly, I think that's fair. Every man for themselves, and with the exception of children. But I mean, I'm just saying that, I just don't think people owe anybody anything.
Well, first of all, we're talking about injured humans. We're not talking about regular old people. We're talking about people who need assistance, which is why they are called.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I just don't see someone who is injured being in a position to demand anything. It's just like, or refuse to cooperate. It's just like, we're trying to help you. You understand that? Like,
well, I think it's because for her, in her mind, she's like, I'm not putting myself in that pain again. It's like basically saying, well, you have to put your hand in the acid or we can't help you. And it's like, no, do something else. Oh, okay. So before I found out, I don't normally watch, I'm not a big fan of the Super Bowl anymore. Usually it's kind of boring, but they released what the halftime show is going to be, because the Super Bowl is happening in Miami this coming season.
Didn't football just start?
It did, but they announced the Super Bowl halftime show because, it takes months and months to plan.
Okay.
So it's Shakira and J-Lo are the halftime show.
So they're going with a Latin theme, I guess.
Full on Latin theme. And everybody's like, you guys realize that Gloria Estefan owns half the stadium that they're performing in, and it's in Miami. And, just saying, she's kind of a queen.
That's rude. Yeah.
She may very well show up.
Well, maybe she's on the board and she decided
she
it
is.
Or something. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking too. And she may show up. She's badass. I mean, she may show up and just say, hola, and just do the Miami thing.
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga do. Okay, wouldn't that be funny if it was all black and then all of a sudden you heard, come on, shake your body, baby, do. Everyone would be like,
everybody would love it. They'd be so excited.
I'd go nuts if I was there, and I don't even know why.
I'd be like it's Gloria, you guys. And so there was some suggestions. They're like, well, we hope there's some cameos, like maybe Enrique Iglesias or Mark Anthony will show up and do a little thing. I'm like, Mark Anthony ain't showing up. He ain't doing that shit. He and J-Lo are divorced. I know. They're friends, but come on.
They have the twins. I mean, I don't have friendly terms, but I don't know. I'd like to see, the representation for Latin singers is pretty lame.
Everybody's just like, well, Mr. Miami didn't get invited. I'm like, Pitbull has been on every fucking award show and every single tour of every single human. He doesn't need the Super Bowl, okay? He's done a million things.
What is he anyway? Albino?
What is it? No, he's Cuban and something. I don't know what he is, but he's Mr. Miami or something. And I'm like, whatever. Mr. Miami can go suck it. He can sit in the field with everybody else and enjoy the show.
I'm not going to lie.
See how it's done.
I always thought Pitbull was kind of cute.
You know what? Me too. And then I saw him and he's like 5'2". He's like really super short.
Well, I mean, obviously
It doesn't matter.
He
It
likes
doesn't
women
matter.
with large asses, so
Yes.
that's nothing I could offer him.
No, but I do think he there's something about him that is sexy for sure, but he's on everything. We don't need him.
He just
We don't
commands
need-
attention. He's very confident.
Well, he's got a swagger for sure, and he wears his aviator shades and goes out there and wears his little Scarface suits and does his thing with his bald head.
So adorable.
He's cute. He's a little too short for me, but
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't even care. I just...
you were like, you're so cute. I could put you in my pocket.
I could put you in my vagina and just keep you there.
And I'll just keep you there all nice and warm, and you'll scratch the inside of my vulva.
Just start shadow boxing.
It'll be fine.
That little clit right there. Just go pow pow.
Boom! It'll be so cute. All right, moving on. Okay, now this is going to be really hippy dippy. You're going to make fun of me, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway because I found it. It was just way coincident. It was so weird that I had to share with you. So a couple of weeks ago, Daryl and I were in San Diego, and Malia texted me and said, "Hey, there's a baby praying mantis in the house." Now, baby praying mantises are like barely an inch tall. They're so little, and they're cute. And I said, well, where is it? And she goes, it's literally like on the ceiling, Mom, upstairs. And I said, well, how did it get up there? Because they don't have wings yet. And she's like, I don't know. And I said, well, have your brother deal with it. And she said, okay. So she told him, he didn't deal with it. And one of the cats got it and killed it.
Oh, why didn't you just leave it?
Because she said, she showed me a picture of the dead mantis. It had been placed on the sill like a kill.
Oh, God.
And I said,
Who did it? Oliver?
I don't know.
Or not Oliver. Is it Oliver?
It's Olive.
Olive.
And I said, she goes, well, the mantis has been handled. I go, oh, did Tyler get it? She goes, no, it got too close to the ground and one of the cats got it. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate.
Why do you have a bunch of hunters at your house? It's probably because they go outside, huh?
Cats are predators. They're all predators, not just some of them.
Our
all
cats
of them.
don't kill dick. They'll just like put their paw on it and smell it.
Oh.
And then they let it go. Actually, I think Honey tries to go after flies, but...
all the time. They kill things. They kill a lot of stuff.
But she doesn't kill anything.
Anyway, so I got home from San Diego and the thing was still on the windowsill. I'm like, oh, well, great.
No.
Way to keep it up, guys.
No one
Thanks.
bothered to throw it in the trash.
No, it just looked like a sad little green paper clip just laying on the windowsill. I'm like, awesome, guys. Thanks for that. So we dealt with that. And then like a week later, there was a praying mantis on the front porch, and it kept trying to get in the house like for hours.
What is with all the praying mantis?
Exactly. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the praying? Is there an egg sack in our house?
Do you have like a lady praying mantis in your house that like...
That's what I thought. That's exactly.
All the suitors are coming to the door like, excuse me, I've just come to see your
Mrs.
daughter.
Weiner, I was wondering if I could see Mrs. Mantis tonight.
I have to let you know that if you do engage in any intercourse, she will eat your head off.
Yeah.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Sir, I'm willing to take that risk. Thank you very much, sir. So he's like, I don't understand. I'm like, well, just shut the door. God, don't let it in. And so
I like praying mantises. They're weird, but you can't get too close because they will freaking jump, though.
Well, they're mean. They are mean. They're vicious.
Oh, really?
And they're also carnivores, as we know. Anyway, so a couple of nights ago, we're watching this show. Remember when you were like, is something wrong? I'm like, no, I'm watching this show.
Oh, right.
Okay, so we're watching the show, and so it's over, and so I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm getting ready to turn everything off because it's late, and I see something. Now, I have spider vision better than anyone in the house, like, so good. So out of the corner of my eye, I see something. I turn, and I look, and I see something up in the corner by the sliding glass door towards the backyard. So I turn on my phone flashlight, and I flash it up, and I think it's a big spider, and I look, and I'm like, is that a praying mantis? And Daryl goes, what? And I go, look. And he goes, oh my God. It was like a 3-incher. It was huge. And then it turned its whole body, like it was on the ceiling corner part. It turned and maneuvered its body to look at me. And I'm like, what's happening in my life?
I would have screamed my head up. I'd be like,
well, I got up so hard that I almost peed my pants.
I feel like I'm going to pee my pants right now.
And so I was like, you must deal with this. And he goes, all right. I go, now listen, these things, they fly and they will attack. So So please.
So you were giving him some preemptive strike orders.
I'm like, please. And he goes, I got it. I'm like, where's the stool? So he gets the stool ladder that we have. And I go, just placing it under there. It has eyes. It sees they're angry people. They're creatures that they're vicious. He goes, I got it. So I turned off my flashlight and he turned on the light. And then suddenly the fan pops on with the light. He's like, why is the fan on? I'm like, okay, this is getting far too chaotic. This is just a praying mantis. So let's just relax. And we don't want to kill it. And so he gets a glass.
It's going to come back.
Okay, first of all, it was huge. And it's like killing an animal. It's big. And
just
so
give it to Bodega. You should have made Bodega come inside.
He couldn't have gotten to it. Yeah. So Daryl gets like this could have gone wrong in so many ways. Daryl gets a glass vase.
Why
and
glass?
He takes that with a napkin and he gets up on this stool in socks. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to fall and impale himself and it's over.
I would have turned the video on. Why didn't you film this?
I don't know, because I was terrified. I thought the thing was going to make a beeline to me. I had no idea.
That would have been even funnier. You guys could have won $10,000.
I could only think of myself at this point.
That's true. Okay, Mom.
He puts the thing over the praying mantis and it leaps to the bottom of the vase.
Oh,
and I'm like,
okay.
See, it was ready to go. And so then he covers it with a thin napkin. I'm like, what do you think is going to happen? You think he's not going to bust through that thing?
Right.
And so he gets it and the thing is leaping all over. It jumps onto the napkin and I'm like, okay, look, this is getting far too National Geographic for me. And so he sets it free. I go, if you set that thing free, you go like 100 yards away from our house. Because I don't know what the hell is going on with the praying mantises, but I don't want it to come back.
Yeah, really. Well, where would he put it? By the garden? Because you don't want to put it by the trampoline.
No, he went to the front yard and he put it out into the garden. Way out on the other side, almost by the neighbor.
Why do you have so many of those?
I don't know, but the next morning it was sitting on my front patio looking in my window.
Are you kidding me?
And I'm not fucking kidding you. I took a picture of it. I'll send you a picture of it.
It's like Fatal Attraction. Like it boiled your rabbit and it's on your stove.
So for shits and giggles, I Googled praying mantis symbols. Because I'm like, maybe this is a sign from Earth. Like, what is this telling me? Mm-hmm. And so, interestingly, it says the mantis comes to us when we need peace, quiet, and calm in our lives. Usually, the mantis makes an appearance when we've flooded our lives with so much business activity or chaos that we can no longer hear the still small voice within us because of the external din we've created. After observing this creature for any length of time, you can see why the symbolism of the praying mantis deals with stillness and patience. The mantis takes her time and lives her life at her own silent pace. And I went, well...
That makes her sound nice. And this mantis wasn't nice. This thing looked like a effing like alien.
Psycho.
That just like ate a person and came out of their body.
It's like I look at him like, psycho much? Why are you so obsessed with me?
Maybe you guys were soulmates.
Paula.
I don't know.
Maybe it's some old lover that died and is returning to me to say, you need peace.
It's like the monster in your closet. I don't know,
but I found it really weird. And
what
I know
if you woke up in the middle of the night and you saw it on your ceiling and it was staring at you?
I'd freak the fuck out.
Out of me. I know, right? I'd probably,
I'm like, peace this! And I'd kill it. I mean, it'd be over. I'm like, no more peace.
There was one time Mom and I were in the car and we had the windows down. I think we were on the way to Dr. Riak's office and a bee flew in the window. We were at a stoplight. A bee flew in the window.
Oh my God. Did you both get out of the car?
No, I screamed so loud because the bee was literally in front of me. I screamed so loud. The bee turned around and flew right back out the window. She's like, you screamed it out the window.
So funny.
I don't realize how loud of a screamer I am. Like I scream ridiculously loud.
Do you think Mom screamed like you think you got Mom scream? Do you think she did that in the doctor's office?
I don't know how and the funny thing is like when I'm on roller coasters or like rides and things and I'm screaming, I look down at the people in line and they're looking up and they're laughing. And so
I loved you too.
And I always go when we get off the ride, and whoever's down there waiting, I'm like, "Oh, well, did you guys hear us?" And they're like, "That's all anybody could hear." Like everyone was looking at the ride, like, "What is going on?" Because you hear someone, "Ah, shit!"
No, that's you.
It's me.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I hate being that person. I'm always scared. I scare other people in the movie theater because if something scary happens, I'm like, ah! And then someone else will get startled, and they're like,
"Oh my god!"
And they're like, "Oh my god!" They're like, "That girl scared me."
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure that you inherited our mother's scream. She was so embarrassed, by the way, when this was all said and done. She called the doctor's office back and apologized.
Well,
she was so sorry.
I'm glad.
Yeah, obviously.
Jeez.
I know. It's insane. So anyway, I get the hint, Earth. Peace and calm. All right.
I should look
Stop
up
with the mantis.
I should look up what 5 extra pounds means that I can't lose.
means close your hole.
It's these 5 pounds, and I'm not eating anything. I mean, I'm eating normal, but I am not like eating the sweets or any. Well, that's not true.
There you go.
I bought a 12-pack of donuts the other day.
Another one?
Another one, and another one.
And they were good.
Well, here's the thing is that I got a 12-pack. I actually only had 2. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to go look for the jelly donuts that I bought, they were gone. And so I'm just like, who the fuck ate my jelly donuts? Because I was pissed. And nobody ate them. And so what had happened was I got Victor a Bear Claw. And so she put all like the big specialty donuts in there first, and she set the other donuts to the side because she was going to put them in like on the bottom or something. I don't know what she did.
Oh, and she never put them in?
I think she forgot to put them in there. And I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, so I got charged for a dozen, and I missed like half my donuts.
Oh, that's not cool.
And then, of course, I got talked to by the old men, and
Yeah, I noticed that. They just like, you know what? When they're old and they're hanging out, that's what they do.
It's so funny, though. They're every time I go, there's like 7 of them, and they're just sitting there talking up a storm, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? I don't know. But then as soon as I start to approach, dead silence. And they're like, well, good morning. And I'm like, well, hello, hi.
Good morning, young lady.
Yes. And then as I leave, conversation, silence. Well, we'll have a nice day. I'm like, thank you. You guys have a nice day.
Enjoy your covert operations since you're silent now.
Seriously, they're like 75 or 80. And I'm just like, what excitement is there to be had by just saying hello and goodbye to a pretty young woman, well, relatively young woman? I don't know what the thrill is.
You realize that men can father children at that age.
Oh, so they think they're going to have sex with me, or they're just putting it in the file? Is that what it is? I don't know.
I'm just saying that I don't think their drive ever dies.
Well, that is true.
Ever.
I heard that Charlie Chaplin had a child at 80.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he was too old to pick it up. You stole my line.
I'm sorry. It's not your line. It's
everybody's line.
It's Nora Ephron's line.
I forgot who said that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Harry Met Sally.
That's right.
Harry Met Salary. Yes. So anyway, all right. Well, let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
Ryan has, not recently, but like within the last month, I would say he got into the show The Office. He was like binge watching it.
That's a good show.
So there was this episode where Michael was giving blood and he met like this nice woman next to him. And it was after he had broken up with like the HR lady and because she had moved. And so he was thinking about getting back into the dating pool. Well, he actually sat up too fast and he wound up passing out because, when you give blood, you give a lot of blood. So you have to like sit up slowly, drink orange juice and, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I forgot what we were talking about, but I said one time when I was pregnant, I think with Olivia, I had to go and give a bunch of like vials of blood for various things. And I said, I'm like, even then, I'm like, I was like 7 vials. And I said, when I stood up, I'm like, I was feeling really woozy. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, I said, I've never felt woozy before, standing up, giving, labs before, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's really possible to get woozy. And then Victor's
Woozy?
so Victor's just like, woozy? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, when you like give blood and you stand up and your head like gets woozy and, from giving too much or, just like all that, I get like dizzy. And he's just he's like, you mean woozy? And I'm just like, is that what that is?
It's not woozy? No.
I just kept saying woozy, thinking that.
And did you keep saying it because you thought it sounded wrong? So you kept saying
I thought that's what it was. And I did it again. I was just like, oh, that guy got really woozy. And I'm like, woozy,
Oh,
woozy.
God.
I corrected
So you're saying that in
myself.
mixed company. Okay, well, I'm glad someone corrected you.
I don't know why I made that word up, though.
Who cares? I mean, it's funny. It is weird. Well, the thing is I didn't want to shit on your point because I'm like, was he?
Well, and see, I appreciate it when I do those things at home because at least someone can correct me. Because what if I was out in the real world and I was saying woozy and like everyone's just like, why was she saying woozy?
No.
Talking about me behind my back, saying we
the woozy girl.
we expect her to protect our company from legal problems, and yet she can't even say woozy.
That's funny. Okay, so mine was we went to this new restaurant that's right by our house. I've been putting it off because honestly, it just wasn't appealing to me. I'm like, I mean, it's I'm indifferent to it, and it's like I don't want to spend money at a place that I'm indifferent to. I mean, I didn't know. But a friend.
Do you feel obligated to go to new restaurants or?
Well, yeah, first of all, Daryl really wanted to go and check it out. And then we have a friend who we were all going to go check it out. And then he had an opportunity. So he went with some other friends. And I went, oh, well, shit, now we have to check it out. Because if we all like it, we'll all go together. Mm-hmm. And so I said, yeah, and we can literally walk there. So we didn't have anything going on. And so we walked over and said, well, we'll just get like a cocktail and some small dishes or whatever. So we went over and we sat down, and it's one of those restaurants where it's not hipster, but there's a lot of hipsters that work there. Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. And, it basically everything I expected it to be, but I was struggling with my cocktail. And so he goes, well, would you like another cocktail? And I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, but I'm not really sure what I like. I said, I like gin and tonic. And he's like, well, I can make you a gin and tonic. I'm like, no, I want to try one of your craft cocktails. And he said, okay. So I decided on one, and I said, yeah, I guess I'll try that. And he goes, it's not too sweet, da, da, da. And I said, okay. And he goes, but if you don't like it, I'll drink it. I'm like, if I don't like it, I'm spitting it in your face and throwing it at you.
Jesus, Jamie.
For like a minute, I was trying to be funny. But what happened was, in my brain, I literally just said what I was thinking, which I tried really hard not to do.
That escalated quickly.
Exactly. And so he double taked for him, and he's like, okay, I'll make sure it's really good. And Daryl's all, what? And I'm like, I was trying to be funny.
You're like, that came out wrong.
That came out really, really strong. That was a strong response. Total accident. So of course I'm drinking it. So he's like, so is it all right? Do you like it? And I'm like, yeah, it's really good. Thank you. He's like, okay.
Oh
Phew.
my God.
It was so funny.
Even if you say that came out wrong, they're probably asking like, so how did you mean for that to come out?
I don't know.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure, but it was
what
one of those
other
times
interpretation there would be.
There was literally no filter. But see, then they just got a glimpse into what really goes through my brain when I'm thinking out. I mean, nobody ever would want. I told Derek, he goes, I would love to be inside what whatever your pretty head is thinking. I mean, you do not want to be in my head. Trust me.
You'd be
very, very few people would survive.
You'd be shanked to the jugular upon entrance.
You would gather up our children and flee if you knew what was going on in my brain. You'd be like, she's a psychopath, everyone.
Yeah,
Get out.
My brain has rooms, and you could just enter one of them, and you'd be like, ah! You know
that movie with J-Lo where it was called The Cell, where she has to like literally go into a crazy person's brain.
Yeah, the brain. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it would be like for us. It'd be a horror film for anyone who dared.
I always think about that scene in Ghostbusters when she opens the refrigerator and like all that green light and wind comes out.
Yeah,
like, I imagine that's what it would be like to open my brain.
Seriously, my brain would be frightening. So
the other night, Ryan and I went to McDonald's to pick up dinner for everybody, and we were at the drive-thru, and they're just like, okay, we're not quite done with your one thing, so go park at number 1 and we'll bring it out to you. And so I'm just like, all right, fine. So we're sitting there, and there's a bus stop literally like right by the McDonald's. And so this guy, who is obviously disturbed in some fashion, gets out, and he sees us in the car, and he's looking at me.
Oh, shit.
And so I just automatically go to like dead eyes, and I'm just like looking at him, and I'm just like, I literally have like daggers coming out of my eyes. Like, you even come an inch to me and I will end you. So
I'm the same way.
He starts to like, I guess you could call it show off. And
oh God,
he's talking to himself. He goes to the tree right in front of our car and starts picking the bark off. And, you know, if that's going to impress me, according to a disturbed person, I guess.
Wow.
And so and he keeps looking over, and every time he looks over at me, I'm just staring at him like, die.
Yeah.
And Ryan was a little nervous, but he kept looking at me, and he could just see me like, I am not taking my eyes off this person. And I just keep staring at him like, death, death, death. And then eventually he just kept looking at me, and then he just kind of like turned and kept walking. And I'm like,
you know, isn't that funny? It's funny how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't letting my stare stop, and my eyes never stopped screaming, "I will kill you." And so,
you know what? I have told Dara that because you know, and we should talk about this. Were you ever bullied in school?
No.
Like legit bullied?
No.
Yeah, because we were all your bullies.
It's just because I didn't let anybody give me any shit.
Well,
you know?
I think we should talk about, because Daryl and I were talking about bullies the other day in the car for some reason. I can't remember specifically what it was about. It was something about bullies and how they deal with them now versus when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. Like the way they deal with bullies in school now is just vastly different. And so I think we should talk about it because
I definitely agree.
I had 2 bullies in my school career from kindergarten up till I graduated. I had 2 specifically.
Yeah.
And I was telling him about one, the one in high school, I was telling him about it. And I was like, I was absolutely out of my mind furious.
You were getting mad.
I was so angry. And I couldn't believe, like, to this day now, because if I could go back, I would have kicked her ass. I'm like, I'm such a different person now than I was back then.
I know.
Anyway.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Billy Madison, that movie.
Yeah.
Remember he calls Steve Buscemi, and he's just like, I just want to call you and apologize for being such an asshole in school. And he's just like, okay. And then he's like, list of people to kill. And Billy Madison was on there, so he X's him out. Then he lays back and pushes a bunch of red lipstick all over his face.
I know.
Obviously, he was messed up, but
yes.
I'm just like, I wonder if that happens. Like the people who were like horribly bullied in school, if they just crack at one point and, you know, want to just destroy people's lives. So.
Definitely not me, because I don't care enough, but I definitely.
No, but I mean, but there are people out there who were just. I don't even understand. Like we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Okay.
But anyways, it's just. Yeah.
See, it's a good subject. It's a good subject.
We will. We'll talk about bullies.
I'm just wondering if you were the bully, if you didn't have any.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Did you bully anyone?
No, I can't talk about it. I mean, I had people attempt to pick on me. I will say that much.
Okay. Well, we will talk about it because it'll be really interesting to talk about it, because the way we handle bullies today in this society versus the society of the 80s is just so glaringly different.
According to schools, how you should handle a bully.
Exactly, which doesn't work.
At our house, we have a different philosophy.
So do we. And it's served us all very well. So.
And if they follow the rules, it ends with ice cream.
It always ends with ice cream. Yes.
So, all right. Well, I think that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully you had a happy weekend. And it is definitely getting close to Halloween. So it's safe to start putting out your pumpkins and decorations. And so if you need to start looking for those things, please go to uglytruth.com. Click on the Amazon button. They're starting to put out their fall Halloween wear. I know we started looking at costumes because we're trying to figure out what we're going to be.
Yes.
You should go look for your wig so you can start thinking about what you want to do. And then visit lipandclip.com because you want to get your fall makeup, bronze, browns, blacks, cool colors, purples. I always like purple. It looks really great. It brings out your eyes. And then darker lipsticks. Other than that, enjoy the beginning of your week, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.